damage will be done to America's sons and daughters who comprise the terrible swift sword? Well, I can tell you right now, it endangers every single one of them, and it endangers our nation's safety. If you care about nothing else, if you care nothing about basic decency or troop morale, it is bad for troop readiness as well. Because when a warrior goes into combat, they need to know that their buddies to their left and their right will follow that creed to never leave a fallen comrade behind. That no matter what, no matter how, their buddies, their nation, will get them out of there, even if it's just bringing their body home to rest at Arlington. It's because our service members uphold the values of the military. In the Army, those are loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, integrity, and personal courage. That they are willing to sacrifice everything for this country, and that we have the greatest fighting force on the face of the earth. Donald Trump, by contrast, has shown active disdain for each of those values in his 4 years in office. He's shown the exact opposite of every one of those traits, displaying no sense of duty, a laughable sense of loyalty, integrity and courage, no, not to be seen. He has no respect for those in uniform, and selfishness is his trademark rather than the selflessness of our troops. But if Trump's toxicity starts to break down those values within the military, if we start to question why we care about those who have been wounded or killed for us, if we start leaving folks behind, then people will begin to think twice about signing up to serve. Families will reconsider supporting their loved ones' decisions to enlist. Those few Americans who are ready to take on that mission, that burden, will start to hesitate because they won't know if their own crew will risk their lives like mine did to carry their limp body back to safety. But this coward-in-chief in the White House today is too ignorant in matters of both common decency and national security to get that. And so he doesn't deserve to be commander-in-chief of this military for another 4 minutes, let alone another 4 years. So yes, I'm disappointed that my Republican colleagues will be objecting to passing my Senate resolution honoring our troops, veterans, and goats to our families, and that they will not be condemning Trump's disgraceful behavior that denigrates military service that has dishonored the office of the presidency. Does any senator actually oppose affirming that part of what makes America not only great but good is the service of Americans who have always placed the mission first, never asking what's in it for them? Does any member actually object to the Senate resolving to always respect the sacrifices and bravery of those who became prisoners of war or went missing in action? I'm confident that no one here actually opposes the Senate declaring that we'll always care for service-disabled veterans who've borne the battle in defense of our nation, recognizing that wounds of war are earned by patriots who put America's interests before their own. So what's the problem? If Senate Republicans actually agree with everything I just listed, why would they oppose my resolution stating the same? I know some may dismiss this resolution out of hand, claiming it's nothing more than just a partisan jab at Donald Trump. To those people, I'd simply ask that they not rewrite recent history and stop pretending that outrage over Trump's disrespect of the military is something new, or that one that just originated with the Democratic Party. After all, some of the very first public officials to speak out against it were Republican senators who continue to serve in this very chamber today. When then candidate Trump claimed the late Senator John McCain was not a war hero because Trump likes people who weren't captured, it was the senator's friend from South Carolina who wrote, "If there was ever any doubt that Trump should not be our commander-in-chief, this should end our doubt." And again, it was the senior senator from Florida who said much of the same. I can only say that it is shameful that no one on the other side of the aisle has stood up to condemn this president for the comments he has made, for the fact that he did not make his way to that cemetery to honor those veterans of Belleau Woods laying at rest in that foreign soil, who were there not just for us, but for our allies, for everyone that they may never even know. So today I'm here, Mr. President, to ask, as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of Senate Resolution 689, which was submitted earlier today. I further ask that the resolution be agreed to, the preamble be agreed to, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Objection.
Reserving the right to object, Mr. President.
The senator from Georgia.
Thank you, Senator Duckworth, for your service and your sacrifice. We share the goal of supporting our military and our veterans. However, the left's latest outrage against President Trump is, as usual, baseless. Here's the truth. The Atlantic article is just one in a long line of lies and political attacks against President Trump by unaccountable fake news outlets and the so-called anonymous sources. Here's another truth, one that won't be covered by the fake news, than President Donald J. Trump. Let me share the facts with some of my colleagues and the media, which they refuse to acknowledge. This president has championed a historic investment of $2.2 trillion into our military, a 3% pay raise for troops, the largest in a decade. He's personally thanked our troops on the ground from Iraq and Afghanistan, honoring his commitment to end endless wars. And finally, today, he was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for his leadership in facilitating the Israel-UAE peace deal, a historic step toward a safer